last session, you guys had awoken um, after being captured on a Suther military ship, and you all awoke on the shore of the Danemark separated. Oh, fuck, I forgot I have music playing for me even up for you guys. Um, you guys woke up separated on the shore of the Danemark. Many of you missing various items that you had been able to bring with you off of the ship. After half an hour to an hour of being lost, you eventually all got back together and began hiking north along the shore to Pierre's hometown, or home city, really, of Penright. And on the way, you were ambushed by four bandits in the middle of the night, and you pretended to be fellow bandits in their same brotherhood and befriended them. And then in the night, killed them while they slept. Um, and then looting their bodies and slightly re-equipping. You guys continued marching northwards, and you have finally, you are on the precipice of arriving at the mighty city that sits at the center of all of Aslandri, one of the most important cities on the entire continent, Penright. So you're all marching along the shore. I'm gonna retcon. I described it a little bit um, uh, last time. I'm totally gonna retcon that. 1 second. I want music.
Mm.
So you guys are marching along the river. It's approaching, I believe it was noon. Yeah, it's approaching around midday on July 14th. The sun is straight above you in the sky. And um, a few hours ago, like 4 hours ago, a light rain started to fall. And the entire day has been pretty misty and foggy. And as the days progress, the fog has progressively gotten denser and thicker. And you guys are walking along the shore of the Dänemark, and this light rain is patting on the gravel and sand and dirt around you, and soaking your clothes after hiking in it for hours and sleeping in it. And this fog is wafting off the Dänemark, like into the woods, and you can't really see very far ahead of you. Until you see several miles ahead in like towering above the fog are several like stone structures, like tall city buildings. And in particular, you see huge support beams for a giant stone bridge that goes over the Danemark. And Pierre, you recognize this as Penright's signature bridge, which has seen lots of battle, and you've personally seen battle on it. And it's the bridge that separates West and Eastern Penright. So yeah, and just to note that you guys it's been a long while, like since the last time any of you bathed was probably Toy, which I think is at least a week ago. So you
We were in the
are
water of the river.
like, you've been in water, but your hair is still like greasy and matty, and there's still like some like dirt caked to bits of your skin and like your clothes, and some of you have like some tears in your clothes and whatnot. You guys are approaching the entrance of Western Penright. So as you guys like climb up like a little like a hill off this like the bank of the river, and then work your way towards the city, you see that it is huge. So yeah, the city is you can just tell by the size of the walls, these huge stone walls. It's a very fortified city, thick, tall walls, at least like 30 feet in height, ready to withstand a siege. And just walking along the perimeter of the wall, I mean, you see like occasionally there's some guards on top of it. And just walking along the perimeter, you can just feel the size of this city. And you get to the gates, like to enter the like the western gate to enter the city. And you see the gates open, and there's some guards eyeing people, but it's a pretty loose like entrance to the city. No one's like being stopped or checked. Like occasionally they'll stop someone, especially if they have like a wagon or anything. But like as you walk up to the gate, one of the guards just sees 5 sad souls with baggy eyes and saggy skin, just limping, and sauntering their way into the city, and they're just like, "Yep, that's more of the usual." You guys are fitting great here.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, well, honestly,
I don't think I'm limping anymore, by the way.
we'll blend in well with the lower tier classmen for sure.
Hey, Chuck.
Mhm.
Am I still like injured because I haven't gained a single HP since we left the ship?
You failed every HT
I
roll.
have failed every HT roll.
What HP are you at?
1.
We would have not moved at that. we would have been moving at like 2 or 1 speed.
God.
Well, fun fact, I'm no longer limping, so I have that going for me.
Hooray.
Sorry, Rogue.
That's rough, buddy.
That's so.
You'll have some time to rest in Penright, hopefully. Oh yeah. So as you guys are entering the city, do you guys want to discuss what your plan is? Like what you guys are going to do here?
Okay, hold on. How much?
Or do you want to like get to a tavern?
How much money do we have on our name right now? Everyone pooled together.
$0.
I have.
You have
0.
How many do you have, Genius?
0.
0. Okay, hold on. I'm pretty sure I have pretty much 0. Hold on, let me check.
Pretty much.
Oh no.
I
So-
Graham have any?
500, but the current took
Graham
it
doesn't
all
have
away.
his bag. Graham doesn't have his bag, so I'm
I was
Oh,
told
the
I
river
lost all my
took it?
money.
I'm
That was
fairly
so bad.
certain that Graham doesn't have a penny to his name. Okay,
Graham
so
does not have a penny. to his
okay,
name.
so
Not a single
okay,
copper.
so I have 53 copper on me. At best, I can afford 1 single room. And that could be like Roke's room to sleep in for like the night. That's all.
Hell
I can
yeah.
really- that's all I can really afford. I think what we should do is okay. I think that is a good start. Is getting Roke a room. But regardless, we need money. We need money more than anything. And I think if any place is a good place to push your morals aside, this would be it. This town, this hot pot, I guarantee for most of you, you may get wrapped up in things. Depending on how we want to make money, we're going to get wrapped up in things that may push you out of your comfort zone. This is just the
Graham
culture
looks
of
at
the
you,
city.
Pierre, and he looks at you and goes, "We're not stealing.
I trust that you'll find
We
honorable
can make our
ways.
money in an honorable way."
I can trust you can find an honorable way to make money, Graham.
Yeah, he looks at you, Pierre, and goes. You see, he reaches like down his like shirt and pulls out like a little necklace he has, that has like the sigil of House Norser, which forget. I can quickly.
It's a big
I
boar.
think it's a bear or a boar. I can't remember which.
In my mind, I'm thinking of a boar, like with the tusks and stuff.
It's a bear.
Just say it's the Rob
yeah.
Stark logo behind you.
You see, he has like a it'd be 2 on a nose for it to be a wolf. Like this like crystal bear, symbolizing like it's like the sigil of House Norser, and he's like, I could go to the Lord. You also know that the Duke of Eastern Penright, his name is Naren Ertu. And the Duke of Western Penright is Garth Tarlin.
Garth
Um,
and Naren.
Which I realize saying that out loud sounds like a Sith Lord name.
Sorry, could you just say them again, real quick?
So the Duke of Western Penright, his name is Garth of House Tarlin.
Okay.
That is just a Smith name.
Interesting.
And you also know that, like when you guys get into Western Penright, you see like the flags on the gate and everything are a gray bridge on a blue field. And you know that is the symbol of House Tarlin. That's their sigil. Yeah. So that is Naren Ertu.
Naren. That last name, I might need a copy. Okay, yeah. There is one Duke who actually lives in town that I can think of. And that's the Eastern Duke, Naren, of House Ertu. I still wouldn't recommend getting in contact with those noblemen. Aren't exactly as the name implies. Most of them are corrupt. Most of them will probably want you to do very embarrassing things because they're sick. They're sick people. There is no honor the moment you step foot into this town.
We need to get out of here
I
as
think
fast
it
as
is worth
possible.
noting. I think it is worth noting in terms of stealing, and this is gonna rely on Graham a lot, but I did make an oath. I'm not stealing unless Graham gives me permission. That was a term I made with him the night we split.
He looks at you. You see in the top right of your screen it says Graham approves, and he
Graham won't forget
approves,
this.
Pierre disapproves, Junia disapproves, Rogue disapproves.
I don't
you see like
care.
your relational map, like they're all changing, like they all go. Your bars for all of them go down, but Graham goes up slightly.
Yeah, my slider's like in the red, like fuck you.
Yeah, Graham looks over at you. He's like, he has his axe like slung over his shoulder, and like it nods approving at you and gives you like a smile.
So be it. Enjoy the town in that case. Then, best of luck to you. For you too, and especially.
But yeah, so once you guys get in the city, the fog like does not really is not able to get over the walls, so you can see clearly in here. It's dense. It's I mean, it's bright right now with the sun shining above you. You see, you know, it's busy. There are wagons riding by, driven by horses. You even see one noble on a wagon being pulled by two servants. And there's like two armed like knights, like in full plate armor, riding beside him on horses. You know, the street is littered with like the occasional horse dropping, and you see people like lying in the street. Like occasionally there's just someone lying in the street, you know, thin to the bone and coughing, and they just like don't they just seem like a husk, like they're not alive, like they're just lying on the street. Just their bodies serving as a biological function of remaining alive. They're not like actually human.
Homeostasis.
They're just suffering in the dirt roads.
Dirt road.
Actually, cobblestone. The roads are cobbled. A lot of the buildings are pretty worn down. And you know, like you see one tavern has a window smashed in. And like you see like the glass shards are still like on the porch outside. And you even see like some of the shards are like stained with blood as you guys are walking by, and you see like a child running across the street chasing a rat with a knife, and you see like one woman like walking holding an infant, just like breastfeeding it in the middle of the street, just walking by. And you know there's people all throughout the city, like you know, like advertising things, selling like miracle potions, and you know, standing up on wagons and boxes selling. You know, one guy's selling like very cheap meat. He says like the cheapest meat in all the city, and you know, just people selling like vegetables and stuff, but selling miracle potions. One guy is offering like a miracle tonic that'll give you the best sex of your life, apparently. And the city, just in general, it's very cramped. The streets are pretty narrow. You have to walk around a lot of people. It's very crowded. There's lots of people here, and you see the stone, like the buildings that you had seen in the distance that were towering over the fog and over like the walls of the city. One was a church. There's at least, you know, there's one very big church in Western Pennright, and you can see like a tower of one over on the other side of the river in Eastern Pennright. And then the rest of them are all sectioned off in another side of like section of the city. That here, actually, do you want to talk about it?
Sorry, what do we need to talk about?
there's like the tall buildings that tower over everything else, like the big estates and whatnot, like the better looking buildings that are in better repair and everything, are sectioned off from the rest of the city, basically.
Yeah, no. There is a huge segregation crisis, especially more so in Eastern Penright, but it's a general Penright issue. The mid to higher nobility, they all live in their own little neighborhood, all within a few blocks of each other. It's all packed in. It's got its own separate walls and their own guards, their own taverns, their own stores. They don't ever need to leave, so they don't. And they never really know what's happening outside of actual. They never actually know what's going on right outside their door.
And another thing is, you saw it before. There is the, and don't forget, like it's lightly raining right now. There is the giant stone bridge, huge bridge, going across the entire width of the Dänemark, over to Eastern Penright.
Just like the bridge in Urok
I don't know.
when we played Stone Creeks.
I know where Urok is. I don't. Did I play when there was a bridge?
Yes. Damn.
Sure.
Never mind.
Like the bridge in Urok.
Never mind.
Bro, we gotta roll a check, an HT check, to see if we get over this bridge.
Well, what would the party like to do? Okay.
Okay.
So Pierre leads you guys across the bridge. There's lots of people crossing here and there. And, you see like a train of like 3 wagons riding from east to west. And you see the bridge is heavily monitored and pretty fortified. Like there is at least 24 guards on either side of the bridge, just kind of patrolling, keeping an eye on things. And you see, as you cross from the western side of the bridge to the eastern side, the sigils on the soldiers' armor changes from the gray bridge of House in Tarlin to that of House Airtu, which is you see it's a very strange sigil. You see it's a rat that has a dagger stabbed into it. It's like a gray rat with like a steel dagger in it on a brown field. And so you guys get across the bridge, and you see occasionally like some soldiers will stop people just like at the gate. More often here than at the gate, we'll occasionally stop people, especially people coming from east to west. From west to east, you don't see anyone getting stopped, but pretty much every wagon is stopped and inspected. People are like stopped and questioned by like soldiers from Western Pennright. But you guys are allowed to just, waltz on by into the east. And so you get to Eastern Pennright, and it is even like dirtier and more cramped here. You see there's a little harbor. You look like left, while you're crossing the bridge, you look left and look down and see a harbor with lots of a very busy harbor with lots of ships. But you see that actually, yeah, there's lots of ships coming in and out and leaving, and small ships and large river ships. Lots of ships going under the bridge, and the Eastern Pennright in general is, it's like Western Pennright, but just more of it, in the sense that Eastern Pennright's actually smaller. You can tell. Eastern Pennright has around 17,000 people. Western Pennright has around 20 to 25-ish thousand people, like close to like 23. Just due to Western Pennright being larger. But Eastern Pennright is more dense, and the roads are more narrow here, and less of them are cobbled over with stone, and more of them are dirt. And the people here are, most of them have like dirt caked on the sides of their faces, and are just really thin and pale and don't seem healthy. And you see, like, as you guys are walking in, you see like, you look down to the river and see, like, on the shore of the river, there's two men fighting in the river, each of them holding a rock. And they're like, like swinging the rocks at each other and like dodging. One of them throws the rock and like hits one of them in the forehead, and then he like marches through the water, charging at the man, like jumps on him and like holds him down under the water as you see like blood flowing up to the like surface of the river, like from his skull when he was hitting the head. And as you're walking in, you see like someone looking similar to the person that was like lying in the road in Western Penright, except this person is not breathing and not moving and does not seem to be alive. You think you just see a dead body, a thin, soon to be skeleton decomposing in the middle of the street in this hot July day.
Soon to be.
It's also because it's so cramped and so dense. The city, like as you're getting in, it's just very warm. There's so many bodies and so much body heat, and because it's summer. In a very temperate area of Eslandri, that the city just like it seems like the heat is produced by all the bodies in the city, and it just cannot escape because of the buildings and because of how like densely populated everything is. And so as you guys are walking in, you've been walking around and exploring a little bit. You find yourself having to wipe like sweat from your brow. You like the leather in your armor, your clothes are like stuck to your skin. Very pleasant city.
Ooh, really feels like it.
Feels like home.
And so as you get to Eastern Pennright, you guys are walking around. What would the party like to do?
We should probably. What time is it?
Call it like 12:15.
We should probably settle into a tavern for Roke's for a roke steak, and then we can at least when we're there we can try to plan our next moves. We have a lot of money and materials we need to gather, and quite frankly, not a lot of time to do it. So let's head to a tavern so we can discuss that, but also get Roke in a bed maybe.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I think if we get a room somewhere private, a good place to set up a game plan, and I say that quietly.
So you guys are wandering through the city looking for presumably like the cheapest looking tavern available.
Yeah.
And so you're walking and you're going more into like the inner city where Pierre, it's like where the cheaper establishments are. As you're walking by, like two like wooden shutters of a window, like an apartment, like on like an upper like story of a building, like open up, and you see a woman like take a wooden bucket and like pour it out of the like the window, and you just see a variety of bodily fluids, mostly shit and piss, like pour out of the bucket and like slop onto the dirt road. And you hear plop in the ground next to you. Like some of it splashes onto like your shoes. Tariq, some of it splashes onto your shoe because I see you making a face at it.
Don't pick on me. I don't. It's fucking nasty. God damn it, Jack. I know that it's like fitting to the theme, but holy shit, that's just like gross.
There's the fucking. There's the George R. R. Martin.
And so you guys eventually
Getting picked on.
you see a tavern, and Pierre, you remember hearing about this tavern and how it is. You hear about how it's like jokingly called like the cheapest, like the worst place to stay at, but is the cheapest place by far to stay at, and it's called the Rusty Mug.
Oh God!
I'm gonna conceal the fact that it is probably the worst.
It's because
place
muggers
to
stay
stay.
there.
What do you? Okay, so you guys approach like the entrance of the tavern. What do you guys do? Like you're standing outside of there's like a You see, there's like a wooden staircase that leads up to the porch, and one of the steps is missing. Like a couple of the steps are missing. And as you guys like step up the porch, like it like creaks, and you're not sure it can really hold your body weight. Particularly Graham, as he's stepping up, he's like very careful. He's like holding onto the railing, and then like as he grabs onto the railing, he sees like it creaks out and it's like very loose. And if he
It's like
really
your
wanted to
railing?
with one arm, he could push it off.
It's like you're railing on your stairs.
Yes, exactly. Basically, just my staircase. Oh,
Jack just pulled like a
Terrible.
pea out of his ear or something.
A bee.
it's like dried blood.
That's not good.
Cool.
Korea bit me last night.
Yeah.
Um,
I will lead them into the tavern, to discuss with the tavern folk.
Alright, so you guys enter the Rusty Mug.
Yippee.
And so you head inside. It's around 12:30 now, as you guys have been exploring the city, and inside you see. I want to see if I can change the music. Who has like shitty tavern music? Oh wait, it's like a good tavern. Yeah, this works for now. There is a single. There's two men tending the bar. One of them is just like cleaning glasses. And as you guys walk in, you see it's like this old man. There's just a few wisps of gray hair coming off of his scalp, and you see he's holding a glass, like a white rag. Well, it's sort of white. It's just kind of stained brown and gray a bit. And you see he goes, he spits in the rag and starts like wiping the glass with the spit, and like feeling around for like little like crusts of like grime, and like digging at it with the spit until it's like gone. And Pierre, roll perception. It is clear that this man is not looking at the glass. He's specifically feeling for like bits of grime, and you see like he's looking straight ahead as he's cleaning the glass. He's not looking at it at all, and it's clear that when you look, you see like he hears the sound of like the doors opening, and you like your sounds like your boots like clanking against the wood, like the wooden floorboards, and his head like turns over a little bit when he hears you, and you see that his eyes are gray. And then the other man tending the bar has short black hair. He's probably in his late 20s, early 30s. And you see there's like two men, there's three men sitting at the bar, two of them next to each other. One of them is sitting at the far end of the bar, a hood over his, like a cloak flowing behind him. And he's got like boiled leather armor under his cloak, and like the hood like over his head. And he's just like sitting over the tavern, eating what looks like some sort of like potato and some kind of sausage. It doesn't look like any sausage any of you have ever eaten or seen. And you see he's just like he's digging at it with like a fork and knife, and you see there's a wooden mug of some sort of liquid that he's taking sips out of. And then there's two men sitting next to each other at the bar, talking to each other, and there's it's like noonish. You see there's like a stage where a band could be playing, but when you look over, you see there's a giant hole in the center of the stage from where it caved in and has not been filled since. And you even see like there's like a lute lying on like the floor of the stage, but like it only has one string, and like a couple strings are missing, and like two strings are like pulled out and just like curling up in the air after like being broken. And there's just a couple tavern goers here and there, like dispersed throughout the tables, and one hostess walking around, serving drinks and talking to people and laughing. And you see she's like a in her like late mid to late 20s, and all of you notice that she's very clearly armed with a dagger on her hip. What would you guys like to
Hey,
do?
girl boss.
Enter combat.
Mug.
No.
Well, this
Give
was
us all of your money.
shit.
Give us some money. We want a gift.
Oh. God.
Pierre's gonna walk up to the one of the guys running the bar.
Which one?
Not the blind one.
He's not really running the. He's more standing behind the bar, anyways. So yeah, you walk up. You want to take a seat at the bar?
I'll just like place my hand on the counter and ask
Okay.
how much for a room.
He looks at you. He goes, "I almost said 3 copper, 3 bronze,
3
For a
bronze.
night.
Okay.
single room."
Single room.
You see, he looks over and eyes the 4 other people that you walked into the tavern with, and looks at you. Goes, okay.
Isn't he blind? Is this a different
No,
person?
the other guy's blind. There's a second
Okay.
bartender.
Yeah.
He's not.
I was like, what?
He's just looking, bro.
I slide over the money.
He takes it, and you see, he bites into like all 3 of them to make sure that they're real, and then you hear like he opens up like some sort of box underneath the bar and tosses them in. You hear them clank against other coins in the box, slides the box closed, and then he walks by the blind man and like puts his hand on his shoulder and like tugs him and goes like, "Watch the bar for me, will you?" And then he like disappears into a back room for a few minutes. And you hear the you hear the blind man. Actually, yeah. As you're standing here, Pierre, waiting. The 2 men near you. You overhear them having a conversation, and one of them talks about. You hear him say like, "When Anair and the Baron's men got into another scuffle with one of the tax collectors," and he turns to you and goes, or doesn't turn to you. One of them like turns back to his friend that he's sitting next to. And you can only hear like the second man talks a bit quieter, and you can only hear like particular keywords, but you hear boisvert, which is roll history for me.
Oh boy. Okay.
Be like +1.
Failure of 1.
Okay, so you know that the name boisvert has some sort of significance to Penright and Penright history.
Oh wait, never mind. I succeed by 1. My bad.
Okay, then boisvert is the name of a noble house, a very influential and not ancient but old noble house that for centuries under the rule of the old empire was the dukes of what is called the Greenwood, which is a section of the eastern woods and surrounding land, and it includes eastern Penright. And you know that they had like this famous castle called the Jade Palace north of eastern Penright, which is made of like this like strange green stone, and you particularly know that they were independent like kings. They called themselves the Kings of the Wood before they were defeated by Madhari in his conquest of the future.
Womp
And Madhari still kept them as Dukes of the Greenwood until there was a territorial dispute, and House Ertu negotiated like a backdoor deal with the God Emperor to become the Dukes of East Penright and to like re-border like the borders of the duchy. And so House Boisvert lost a lot of influence. And ever since then, there was a big war that the God Emperor had to intervene in and everything. And House Ertu and House Boisvert fought in that war, and ever since there's been a blood feud. There have been like famous duels between members of like sons of the houses, and like assassination attempts. Like they've been in a constant blood feud ever since then, since like House Heir 2 like undermined them, and ever since the God Emperor like took their side in the war. And you, there's a lot of bad blood between House Heir 2 and House Boisvert. And you hear them talking about how there have been like scuffles between like Boisvert men and Heir 2 men. And because you know Penright so well, you do know that it's strange for Boisvert soldiers to be in Penright because it's no longer within their jurisdiction. And then the bartender comes back, and you see he hands you he sets a key on the bar. He goes, "There you go. Enjoy. It's room 22 on the second floor."
Let me see.
Wait, 22? That's a lot of rooms.
I was gonna say, I was like,
Yeah.
holy
I
damn!
I was gonna say, like,
Place-
goddamn.
Plays the hotel. Like,
I wouldn't say
Room
like
four.
either.
there are
Room
modern
four,
day
upstairs.
inns that I've stayed in that have not 22 rooms.
Room 4 upstairs.
Room
He
4,
sets the
got
key
it.
on the counter and he goes, "Room 4 upstairs." And like his eyes like glance at the staircase.
Let's see.
He goes, "Would you like anything to drink?"
Pierre glances at his wallet and his friends. Goes, no.
God.
I mean, hey, if you guys have any money, go for it.
He takes it personally and pulls out a gun.
I'm gone. Welcome to Penright.
But, I was also waiting to
No,
get
that's
shot
weird.
walking down the street, just like some dude with a Glock, just like.
That's what's gonna be like here in like a couple hundred years.
The only thing that I swear, the only bit that Ben did in VR the other day was just pulling out the revolver and going,
And then-
"Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo."
Doming someone in the head.
No, you fucking missed before you added the laser. You missed. Anyway, we're
Okay,
gonna
what would the party like to do?
room 4.
I would like to sleep.
Okay, you guys are going
Let's
up.
get
Okay.
to room 4 and make a game plan.
All right, you guys head up the stairs. The stairs are again like creaking, and you have to like skip a step because it's one of them's missing in the staircase that leads up to the second floor.
No,
I
you head up.
purposely jump into it, see what
Um,
happens. No, I'm joking.
As
I
you're walking
purposely
through, you
stick my foot in and break my ankle.
don't say it. I will do it. If you're up from narrating, I will break your ankle. You guys are walking down the hallway, trying to find room 4. You see that some of the numbers of the rooms have been like scraped off. Like they were there's like little steel numbers next to all the doors, and some of them have been peeled off and destroyed. And you see that like room number 7 looks like room number 1 now, and room number 6 doesn't even have a number. And as you're walking by, you hear like coughing like through some of the doors, and like you hear like a loud bang, or like clang of like something falling really hard, like something heavy. And then of course you hear like soft moaning coming from within some of the doors as you guys get to room number 4. And Pierre, you put the key in to unlock it, and as you put the key in, the door just comes, like it just opens, like you don't even have to turn the key, it was just unlocked.
Nice.
God.
Just the force of
That's
trying to put the
comforting.
key in. Like the door softly like swung open.
That should look safe.
Oh, it's
You see, guys-
actually pretty nice.
Yeah, all of you pour into all 5 of you pour into this one room. It is cramped for 5 people. This place can hold like 3 at max. It is like it's got a bed and like a single like twin bed can hold 1 person. And then there's room for like 2 people to sleep on the ground, and it's got like a small table with no chairs, and like a little wooden, like actually that's it. It's literally just got a bed and it's like a small circular table that's like at knee height with no chairs, and there's no window or anything.
King's quarters in here.
I sit on the table to make more room.
I sit on the bed to smile.
I rip Judy off the bed and lay in bed.
Yeah, the reason why we purchased this room, Junior, was for was
I know, but fucking, it's easy. It's more space if I sit on bed, at least on the side. Like,
Crisscross Abby sauce.
well,
Okay, you're all in the room.
okay.
it's not like I'm laying on it or that. Just
We
saying.
somehow managed to all fit in this room.
The-
Except Graham. Graham's sitting in the door.
Yeah, not in here.
You guys can all stand in here, but like sleeping, like lying down, it would be tough. Like
Oh,
you could
okay.
probably get the 5
Just
But, like,
prop yourself up.
if you guys like
against-
are literally lying on top of each other.
Okay.
What if we just had like Graham put his back to the door so nobody can come in, and then everyone like props themselves up against the wall?
Jack,
I
Uh-huh.
mean,
can I roll IQ to determine a flat average, or not a flat average, but a flat estimate on how much money we truly need to, one, resupply ourselves with food, with like our essentials, weapons, armor, and Terry Walpringer's idea of an armored caravan, also new backpacks as well. Like, what is a good estimate of a real financial estimate of that?
One second, I forgot my PDFs are fucking on my laptop. I need to fix that. One.
can be
Well,
so much
second.
fucking money.
It's like impossible because we need to come up with that money in 2 weeks, like at best. Like that's the most time we have is 2 weeks.
Drino's panhandling, right?
No.
Oh.
I mean, there's no. Whoa, Jack just.
Jack just died.
I should just bring my Gurps books to my dorm. Because how do I get the PDF to open, like not open with Adobe?
Don't.
You
just
Why
use the
is
link.
yours opening with
What are you- are
Adobe?
you
you
open-
just
why-
don't
it's a
open it
link.
with Adobe.
You can
Thanks,
always
guys.
like double. You
It's
can
a
always
link,
like
Jack.
right click it and see if it has.
I've never
options.
It's a PDF online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
trying to open?
How the
The
fuck
Gurps
are you
basic
getting
set?
Adobe?
No, you're not trying to open the same one we've been using. Here, I'll send the real one
It
to you.
is.
It's not. This
You-
is
Use
this is
one.
the real
I
one.
sent it in general.
That's it. Opens with Adobe.
Okay, well then,
What?
Try right clicking it, or
It's a
just
link.
copy the link and paste it into Google.
also just
Download
download
the
it.
PDF. Yeah. Oh, that would take a while. How big is
You
it?
could try to download it.
I don't know how you're opening it with.
Oh,
Adobe.
it's not that big. It's 15 megabytes.
It's because I have Adobe like as an extension because
Oh,
I need
then
to
just-
use stuff.
Then just use it in Adobe. It's not too hard.
No, but you can't. Control F in Adobe does not work very well.
Oh, well, I can tell you the page.
Just download
for,
it. It's like 15 megabytes.
Wow.
the page for.
Here, what if
Yeah, I just
did
downloaded
this.
it. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, like for example, I was trying to Control F merchant to like find the merchant seal,
Mhm.
and Adobe says that merchant shows up once in the entire basic set. I was like, that's not right.
Hmm.
Okay, not merchant, but there is. Okay, so you're trying to get like a flat estimate on how much it would cost to. What was it again specifically?
I mean everything. To be honest, I literally listed everything we need.
Let's put it in party notes. How about that?
Yeah,
Need
I'll write it down.
Let's
backpacks?
go. Party notes, please. Someone besides the game master use the party notes channel.
We need backpacks, food.
Well, dude, I actually already have. I've already written it. Scroll up. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, we did. Well, we can. I'll add a couple.
Yeah,
things
but
in.
like how many swords for hire?
I mean, I don't know.
25.
We don't know yet. There's. I'm not gonna write it down because we are in a position to really know.
The
Deal.
wealth of Pennright lies with the nobility, and well, so there's two main sources of wealth in Pennright, right? There's the nobility, which collect money from taxes, and they're the nobility. They're in charge, and there are the merchants and the guilds. Penright sees lots of trade. It always has throughout its history. It is between Blyson and during the old empire, it was between the capital of the empire and the Blyson, which were the two biggest cities in the continent. It was right between them. So much trade facilitated through Penright and went through Penright. So many people that merchants and traders and guildsmen, artisans, craftsmen, blacksmiths, but particularly merchants control lots of wealth, but the nobility as well. In terms of how much wealth each have, it's not really. It's probably pretty equivalent. But you know that the merchants are so rich that they have their own private armies essentially that they send to guard their merchant ships and whatnot. And there's merchants in Penright that have trade empires that go as far as Edinburgh, and as far west as maybe not Caria right now with the western woods, but they have ships that go to Gale, to Edinburgh, to ships along the coast like the Ocean Road on in the north, through Ansport, Blyson, all sorts of all along the coast, and throughout the Dänemark, Hoy.
Okay, so reasonably, we can decide between these two general figures, trying to do the impossible and convince the nobility that we are the prophecy and we need their money, which will not slide. Or we could try getting in good graces with a guild or a merchant empire and help. Hopefully they'll supply us on our journey to Cario. One or the other. Or we could try doing both. And split up the party.
I think we should start with the merchants. Because if nobility's not going to slide, then that should be our last chance, last hope.
Yeah.
I feel like we should start. We should put most of our time and effort into the one that's more likely to work.
What do you think, Graham?
He you see, he looks at you and he pulls out his necklace again, and looks at you and goes, "I'm the bastard son of the North. The nobility would have to accept me.
They won't care.
They would have to
Except
let me.
the bastard.
I'm still noble.
I know, but I hate to say it, Graham, but you've seen that. I don't think the people here are going to care.
Nobles let nobles in." He shrugs and puts the necklace away.
If you're really certain on this whole noble thing, I won't put it past you, because what we need is pretty much the impossible, and what we need to do is very difficult. I think the Hail Mary attempt to go contact the nobleman I think it's a direct approach, and I think you're right for at least trying. So I'll tell you what, if you can get another party member to go with you, you can go and try to sanction a trip.
You don't want Grant to just go off screen and come back and be like, "I did it." Or like, "I didn't do it."
If someone else in the party wants to travel with you, and if no one else will, maybe I even will. I can sanction. We can sanction the trip, and you can go try to visit the nobles and see how that goes.
I wouldn't mind going, but it also depends on how much you want me to be speaking. But I think, Pierre, you should probably go with whoever's going to the merchants, because you and Roke are the best with words, I would say, at this point.
You look at Roke lying red.
Rogue's gonna die if we go there.
What did you say, Junior?
I don't mind going with either.
Okay, Junior, how about you do me this solid and go with Graham and try to talk to the nobility?
Oh God.
I think you and Graham have
once again, I don't mind going, but it just depends. I can't speak there unless if that's the goal, is to reveal something.
Okay.
I mean,
Yep.
Having the Western maybe would help convince the nobles.
Are
we trying to tell them that we're the prophecy?
I don't know.
Graham, what's your plan? I want to know where you're coming from on the idea of going to the nobles.
Walk up, tell them that I'm Graham, son of the fucking what's my dad's name?
Who is my
It's
father?
in his doc. It's in his doc. He has a whole like family tree. Holy shit! He really has a whole table set up. Graham's doc, in Ford's doc, his oldest brother. It's his name is Gunnar, and it says in parentheses next to him, "Dead as a cow."
The fuck does that mean?
Wait, he doesn't have a name for his dad? That's like the important guy. He has a name for all of his dad's wives, but not his dad.
All the wives, but not the dad.
You named the
What should the
concubine.
dad's name be?
Wasn't the father like an integral part of his motivations as a character?
Yes, he's the
Father's
fucking-
name should be Darren.
Darren.
It's not terrible.
Darren Norser.
Aaron feels more southern or eastern to me.
What are you looking for,
Bjorn.
Bjorn?
H.
Isn't that one of his siblings?
Bjorn.
That was Bjorn.
Bjorn.
Oh, it's Bjorn.
Bjorn.
Yarn.
Yeah, okay, so he looks at you and goes, I will go to the gates of the Nomen and tell them that I am Graham Norser, the son of Kjarn Norser, the steward of the North, and that I request an audience with them. And then I will show them this, and he takes out his necklace.
Okay.
I mean, is it widely known that Graham is part of us? Part of prophecy?
Among noble circles, it might be.
Yeah. I mean, it was obvious that they boasted about it.
In that case, I think
Music's really getting intense.
Tariq should really go with Graham for sure. Because that's like the last piece you really need to like assure. Yes, I'm the prophecy. I was a named person in the prophecy. I also have a Westerling with me.
Hello. Hi, Zuko here.
Juneo, how about you also? Yeah, as you said, how about you also go with them? You,
Alright.
Tariq, and Graham can go do the nobles. Me and Roke.
We want to send majority people to nobles.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Nah, after hearing Graham's case, I think that. Why not? Because worst case scenario, they don't respond, and then you come help us with our thing.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Me and Roke will
How
go
many-
talk to the guildsmen.
How many points? I haven't been keeping track of giving points to Graham, so hold on a second.
I think
It's
it's a
just been
plus
1 point.
one.
Okay, it's not the end of the world then. We just add that he has 2 unspent points. His point total is now 150.
Are you going to
Um,
spend his points for him?
I'm trying to think if you could nice, but generally buying skills in sessions don't really allow, but he's gonna talk. He's gonna do his thing. Oh wait, actually, holy shit. Politics can be used as an influence skill, can't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Graham of politics?
Yeah.
What an underutilized character. And that's not an insult to Ford. That's just like, holy shit, Graham was like built.
I used politics earlier
Politics
today.
minus
I
6
had
is
him.
diplomacy, by the way.
Hmm?
Politics minus 6 is diplomacy, by the way.
He'd be rolling for a 5.
A successful skill roll will
Nice.
give you +2 on reactions from fellow politicians.
Okay, yeah. I had him roll politics today to think of when he said that I could go to the noble. I had him roll politics off screen
Nice.
in my little rolling channel. He got a success of 2.
Wow.
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 Okay, so the plan is Pierre and Roke are gonna go and try and find some of the merchants.
After Roke rests for a little bit.
Okay.
Honestly,
can't
we might
move.
be able to,
Like, Roke just
depending on
can't
how
use
long
his
you
arm.
take to rest.
I want Roke to at least be at 2
Depending on
HP.
how long you take to rest,
My
if you
ass-
get rejected, we might be able to just help you
My
at the start.
ask is to have Roke be at more than 1 HP. That's it.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
If we get mugged, or like, we get in a fight, 1 HP, Roke's down. Roke's gone. That's my
Road trips,
ass.
He's dead. Road trips, he's dead.
Yeah. If he makes one like critical failure on like
It's
a
a
random
paper cut.
thing, there's a chance he could injure himself and immediately go down. I'm not traveling with someone on 1 HP.
I simply can't do this anymore. Explodes.
Well, another benefit of this too is like if Roke is resting and things go terribly wrong with nobles, then that gives more time with merchants, even if it's you already start.
Yeah.
Alright, so Junia, Tariq, and so Pierre, are you gonna stay in the tavern with Roke then?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here and medicate Roke.
I don't feel like you want to have anyone left alone in this tavern.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Okay. Okay, the entire time you guys have been talking, I love how this is like prophecy, like the most like legendary heroes prophesized to save the world, and you guys are sitting in a tavern. Like this entire conversation, you've been hearing some like girl get her brains fucked out in like the room next to you, and like some
Hey,
guy
you
like
did
coughing
this
to
to
the
us,
point,
Jag.
like some guy like coughing to the point that like he's been like coughing, hacking up, and he suddenly stopped, and you think he just died next like in the room over. There's just like this ambience,
poor
just you like
guy.
the dirtiest, like most underground, like shittiest tavern ever. This is supposed to be the heroes. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Junia and Tariq and Graham leave the tavern.
Hooray.
So you guys, Graham begin. Yeah, I guess Graham will lead you guys to. He leads you guys towards the because Adobe doing okay. The walls where you see like castles and stuff, and maybe not actual castles, but large estates, keeps, and you guys get to like the wall that literally sections it off from the rest of the city, and you see like this wall is just as tall as the wall that surrounds Penright, and like you think to yourself like, wow, the walls that are separating the nobility and like the wealth of the city from the rest of the city it's just as fortified, if not more fortified, than the walls that are keeping the outside world invading forces from the city. And you see like, yeah, these
Damn.
walls are manned way more heavily than the walls that are like surrounding the exterior of the city. There's plenty of guards on top of the wall with like bows and arrows and spears and whatnot. Like these guys look like they're ready for a siege at any moment. The walls on the outside, like on Western Penright, when you came in, looked like you guys if you came in at the right moment, could have taken a rope, swung it up, like a grappling hook at the end of it, swung it up, and just like climbed up and got over the wall. If you were quick enough, it was like that sparsely guarded. So you guys get up to the wall,
Damn.
and Graham walks up to one of the guards. And he stares at the guard and says, "Hello, I'm Graham Norster, the son of Kjaran Norster, the steward of the North. I request I request a I said it earlier. What am I thinking of, guys? Audience. I request an audience with the local duke." And he takes out like his necklace and shows it.
I love since it's Graham leading,
wait.
it's Jack talking to Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I want to wait to see the response to Graham before I do anything. Jack.
Thinking.
Oh, okay. I was like,
So there's like two guards standing either side of like the gate. It's actually like four, each holding spears. And the one he's talking to looks at him, and says, he looks at all three of you, and he looks, and Tariq, you're still wearing the plague doctor mask?
yeah.
Okay.
That's all I got.
The son of the steward of the North? And Graham nods at him and he goes, yes. He goes, like, and they look at each other, look at you and go, and one of them like the two in the center look at each other and are really involved in the conversation. And one of the ones like the third or fourth guard turns over and goes, "You mean the bastard?" And you see like Graham physically tense up at the mention of that. And Graham turns over to him and nods, and like you see his teeth are kind of gritting. And goes, "Yes." He goes, "I thought the bastard was with the prophecy." And he looks at the three of you. And one of them like leans over and goes, like on the other side, and looks over and like calls out to him and goes, "I thought there was a plague doctor with the prophecy." And then like they all four of like their sets of eyes look at you, Tariq, and you see all four of the guards staring at you. Your vision's like limited by the eye holes in the plague doctor mask, and you're just sitting there, sweat like dripping down your face.
I will remove it.
And all of their eyes light up. And go,
I am Ka Care. I am here for the same reason as Grim Norser. I request this presence.
I
and then they all instinctively turn to Junia.
am from the west. Our two pals are resting right now, but
Oh my god.
we would like an audience as well. Is that proof enough for you? Is my audio working?
Yes, no, yeah.
Everyone gets shot and killed.
Oh man. Impersonating the prophecy is punishable by death.
Real.
Okay. Where's my water bottle? So the one that initially started the conversation, like when you take your mask off and Junie says all that and everything, their eyes like light up and they look at each other. And one of them like instinctively like bows a little bit, and then like the other three like look at him, and then like also like start like they're all like eyeing each other like what are we supposed to be doing? And they like also like start awkwardly bowing, and there's just like this 20 seconds of awkward silence as you're all just standing as these four men are like awkwardly like half bowing to you and like looking at each other like waiting for one of them to like start going up, and there's just like 15 seconds of awkward silence as you're all just standing outside of the gate. And Graham looks at them and goes like, "Please, you stop. Like, please stand up." And they all like slowly like shoot back up and they're like, we'll let him know that you're here." And one of them kind of chuckles and goes, "Wait, you said you were here to see the Duke, right, Mr. Graham?" And Graham goes, "Aye. We'll just presume that Pierre told him like the full name. He knows names like Naren, heir to the Duke of Penright." He goes, and like the other one on the other side, those two guys seem to be buddies. Laughs and goes, "He's not Duke anymore. Naren the Baron. Poor guy." And like the guy standing next to him like slaps on the shoulder like, "Don't say that. Don't call him that when we're on duty. You're gonna get yourself killed." And one of them, the guy who initially started the conversation, I bet none of you. I'm doing such an amazing job of describing the four of them that none of you know who any of them are because it's all in my head, and I'm doing an amazing job of keeping track of it. You just know that some of them are talking. One of them steps forward and like stares up to the top of the wall and like waves his hand, and one of them like rings a little bell, and the gates to the wall open, and he stares and he goes like, "We'll lead you in," and like he like bumps the guy next to him, and two of them turn to lead you guys into the walls, and then
Thank you.
the other two stay outside as the gates close behind you. You're now in the wealthier section of Pennright, or of Eastern Pennright. So the buildings here are taller, well, better kept, huge houses and keeps with their own little walls and personal guards and gardens and fountains and streams and whatnot. All of the roads here are cobbled, and it's a lot cleaner. People seem friendlier and nicer, well dressed. It's a lot less busy. There's you see there's a man who's walking around. Whole job is just to scrape up horse shit from the road.
Yeah.
And you see like this like a young like handsome couple walking by, smiling and laughing, and like it's a lot. It just seems brighter here. Like it just seems like the world is brighter and happier in this section of Penright. And the two guards turn to you and say, we'll take you to the Baron's keep." As they're walking, and like one of them turns to the other and goes, "Should we call him the Baron? Is it the Baron's keep, or do we still call him the Duke?" Turns to him and goes, "In his presence, call him Duke. But, well, I guess we'll take you to the Duke's keep." they say to you as they're leading you on.
Interesting.
And they lead you through like winding streets of and you see like a man with like a little girl next to him. He's dressed in like very fine like silk like clothing. Like reach up and like pick an apple out of a tree and like hand it to his daughter who's like giggling. And then like he like picks his daughter up and like puts her on his shoulder and like carries him like towards like a large estate. And you guys are approaching the largest building in the entire this entire section. You guys are leading to like winding street, and you're heading to the largest building in this entire section of the city. And it's this huge keep. Wouldn't call it a castle. It's got towers. It's got the walls are probably like 10, 15 feet. Like 15 feet tall. Like very thick, very sturdy, very well guarded, with lots of soldiers with that like rat with a dagger sigil. And you guys like approach the gates, and one of the men like calls up and like, "Members of the prophecy, including Graham Nortzer, the son of the Steward of the North, are here to visit Naren." And then the one standing next to him turns to him and goes, "Naren the Duke." And like the guy at the top of the wall is like, "All right," and they like gesture to open the doors to the gates. And the three of you are led in, and four more guards file in to escort you in, and you're now escorted by like a total of like half a dozen guards as you guys enter to the keep. These giant doors to the stone keep are like slid open, and you guys are led in and you guys are like kept in like this like entrance like lobby type area, and one of them turns to you and says like, "Stay here. We'll fetch the Baron. I mean the Duke, and we'll get him ready to take your audience." And he like turns and leaves deeper in the keep, and you're all staying here.
I do not.
And so you guys are standing here waiting, and after about like 5 minutes, the soldier returns, no longer holding his spear. He walks up and goes, "Naren the Duke of East Pennright will see you now." And the six of them escort you into his hall, and you see him sitting on his throne. I wonder if I could get music for Naren the Duke. Okay, so you see Naren the Baron, also known as the Duke of East Pennright, also known as the Baron of East Pennright. It's kind of confusing. Is like sitting on like a little throne, and this music really makes him seem holy. And at the end of this long hall, and you see he's got like guards on either side of him, like 8 or so guards with him. And the three of you slowly approach, and Graham is at the front, and you see he gets down on his knee and like bows before him.
Graham does, I fucking follow suit.
As well.
Okay. So I'll get down on your knee and bow before him. And you see when you guys kind of like as Graham immediately like walks up and bows, Junia and Tariq, you both see something flicker in Naren's eyes when he sees that. Like his eyes light up for a second, and then he kind of squints and looks at him and like focuses, locks in.
Interesting.
And he, the three of you bow before him, and he's sitting in his throne, and he says, "Rise." And you all rise, and he gestures to Graham and says, "I presume you are the son of the steward of the North?" And he goes, I'm Graham Norsair. And he turns to the two, and who are my other two guests?
Name's Junior.
Cog. I am Care.
And you don't have a mask on, right?
I do not.
Okay. Tariq with the Plague Doctor mask is like when your like customizable character shows up in the cutscene. Okay, so you're all standing before him. Naren is a middle-ish aged man on the younger side. He's around 30, like early 30s. And he's sitting in the throne, staring down at you, and he goes, "And why have you come to me?" And Graham turns up to him. I love when I'm just stuck doing dialogue with myself.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, I can jump in.
Yeah, but like, why would Graham?
Logically, Graham would talk. Is the
Yeah, it would like
he is
you're
noble.
correct.
He has the experience doing this. Graham looks up at him and says, "We are in need of your assistance. The prophecy requires funds, equipment, mercenaries, wagons, horses. We are continuing westward, and we've been delayed, and our ship taking us southwards was taken by bandits when we barely escaped, and we require armed guards in order to get through the western woods so that we may fulfill the prophecy as quickly as possible." And you all see Naren stares at this, and he crosses his legs, like puts his like arms behind his hands behind his head, and like leans back in his chair. And you see he's thinking for a little bit, and like smacks his lips. And you see he reaches his hand out to a servant next to him, who has like a little like a red velvet like pillow with like a cup on it, and he reaches out, and he takes the cup and sips at it. And you see that like the servant also has like at his feet like a flagon that is very clearly filled with wine. And so he's sipping at his wine, like staring at all of you, and he finally sits back up and smiles and goes, "Okay, that could be arranged, but I will need something from you." And Graham's just silent. You two could talk if you want.
What
Oh?
do you request?
See, there's a lot going on in Pennright right now. I've been having some quarrels with the steward of the East, and perhaps the support of the prophecy is just the kind of political sway I need in order to attain my goals, if you catch my drift. And he winks at you.
What are your goals?
Yeah,
That's what I'm not quite sure on. That's what I'm not quite sure on. You see, maybe a fresh set of eyes would be helpful here, but I have a lot of options. I'm at a crossroads right now, and I don't quite know which way to go. You see, just a few weeks ago, 3 weeks to be precise, House Esther stripped me of my title as Duke. They now call me Naren the Baron. Baron of East Penright. And made that fool Boisvert the Duke of the Greenwood. And so I've been having quarrels with him and quarrels with the steward, and some tax collectors have entered my city, and my tax collectors have killed some of their tax collectors, and there's also, the normal amount of unrest in Penright, as you'd expect. But there's a variety of ways I could go here. And he turns to me and stops for a second. He goes, "Where's the rest of your party? Aren't there 5 in the prophecy?"
Currently resting. After all, as Graham said here, we were attacked by bandits. It was quite treacherous to reach Penright.
And where are they resting?
Why do you need that information?
It'd be easier to talk to all of you at once. And, it'd be easier to confirm that you're the prophecy if I can see the entire prophecy.
If you would like, we could go and fetch them.
I can send some men
As
while you rest in your quarters here.
I do
Well-
not mean this unkindly, but fortune has not smiled kindly upon us as we've gone on our travels. And trust is hard to come across these days. I think it would be more
Likewise.
comfortable for them. I think it'd be more comfortable for our other members if a familiar face was the one to bring them here.
All right, fine. You go with my men. He points to you, Tariq. He turns to Graham and Junia and goes, "You two can pick which quarters you all sleep in."
Alrighty. I'm assuming you're asking something of what the prophecy's done to put in a good word to the God Emperor, if I were to assume. Consider.
Oh, no.
Is it no?
By the time you do whatever it is you do. Well, wait, how quickly do you think, how quickly would you say you could awaken him?
That depends how our travels go. If we get a wagon, an efficient one, we can probably get to the Westlands a lot quicker than originally planned.
Too risky. I would likely be dead by the time you get back.
Alrighty.
You see, the only thing keeping me alive right now are all of the monsters in the eastern woods, but reports have been that they've been less frequent and that the situation is getting better, which is very bad news for me, because that means that Boisvert and Esther can send an armed force and put me in my place. Which, if you don't understand, is my head on a spike.
Yes.
So, I need your assistance immediately, and in exchange, if this goes well, I will be in a position to give you whatever you need.
Alrighty.
So go fetch your friend or friends wherever they're resting, and come back. He turns. He goes, I'll send you my best man, Lauren. Lauren, go with them. You see, a soldier dressed in like full steel plate armor with the rat and dagger of House Heir2 on his chest, like embroidered like in the chest plate, walks up, and you see he has like a two-handed longsword like sheathed on his back, and like a shield attached to his also has like the rat and dagger attached to his gauntlet, like steps forward from like the side of the throne, and like approaches and goes, "Go with our friend Pa here, and fetch their friends. The two of you. He turns to like one of his servants next to him and goes, Reika here. Reika will show you to your quarters or your options. You can choose. Once your friends are back, come meet me in my hall and we can discuss further how we can help each other. Smiles.
Alrighty. Thank you very much.
Dismissed. You see, he stands up from his throne and like rubs his hands together and like shoves down the rest of his wine in his cup and hands it back to his servant and walks away out of the throne room. And you see Reika, who is this like young, she looks like a 15-year-old girl, approaches you, and like two armed guards approach as well, and Reika speaks with like this soft, like almost like timid voice, and goes like, "I'll show you to your rooms, or where you can choose your rooms if you'd like." My lords, or
It's
she does like an awkward curtsy and like
the only lord here.
her eyes like get wide, and you see like her face like get red, and she's like, "Just follow me, please." And she smiles and starts leading you through the keep.
We follow.
And so she leads you and Graham. You have various options of rooms available in the keep. One. So there are 5 of you, huh? She says, 3 rooms. Naren has instructed me, or actually, let me start over. So she's leading you, and she says, "My father has instructed me that we're to give you 3 rooms, 2 rooms for couples. Me not saying that any of you are couples, just that you will have to share a bed, and then 1 room for a single." And Graham says, "I'll take the single."
Okay.
Okay.
And she leads you through, and you have an option of one overlooking the like a large section of the city. Like it's like higher up in the keep. The keep is probably like 4 or 5 stories tall.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost a castle, basically. Like, it overlooks a large section of like East Penright. One overlooks like the river. When one overlooks more of like the, it's like mainly overlooks like the wealthy section of Penright.
I want to go to the riverside. Hell yeah, baby.
Okay. Riverside it is. Man, go once. So, so she leads you guys to your rooms, and yeah, Pierre and Roke,
Yes.
you are resting in the Rusty Mug. You've been resting for about 45 minutes.
Should I roll for HP?
There is a knock at the door. And tell me, Pierre, have you tried to lock the door since you come inside?
Sure, yeah.
Like since they left? Yeah, it does not lock. It doesn't work.
Not surprised.
And there's a knock at the door, and the door just swings open at the sound of the knock, and you both like turn, like you sit up a little bit out of the bed, and you see Tariq standing in the doorway. And behind Tariq is this tall man, probably like 6 foot, head to toe clad in steel plate armor. Like he has his visor down and everything. You haven't seen this guy's face. huge long sword sheath on his back, etc., etc. I described him earlier. Yeah.
To be honest with you, Jack, and you can say no to this, but I feel like I would have requested if I could have gotten them and brought them to the front of the tavern.
Okay. Then requested like the bartender to do it?
No. Like requested that the armored guy waits in the bar and I'll be back in like a minute.
Okay, sure, yeah. Then never mind, you don't see the steel plate guy, you just see Tariq in the doorway.
Well, hello. How'd that go?
There is a request that you come to the Duke's Barons, person of power. They want all of us present for some form of political gain. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with that. There is an armored man. I think so. There's an armored man in the bar. I wanted to come to you and just... I think it's your call. I think it's friendly. He wants us to stay in the keep, and he wants some sort of political gain out of us in exchange for supplies.
He has rooms.
Well,
He has rooms.
Pierre, get your stuff. We're leaving.
Okay. I wanted
it.
it to be your call. I didn't want it to be forced, but I'll follow whatever makes the most sense.
Rogue, I think that's a fine idea. We'll stay, but we'll see what they need for sure. From us. Okay. Yeah, we'll go.
Yes. Okay.
If anything
Out
happens,
to the
the walking
bar.
bear of a human in our party will do something about it.
Yeah, so Rogue, by the way, the bed in your room in the rusty mug is just this like dry like straw bed, and it's like scratchy. The sheet over it like had like some rips in it, and so like some of the straw is like pouring out of the sheets and like is like on the floor, and it's awful. Like some of it like stabs into your back, like pokes in the back.
How
Feeling
the fuck does that
rejuvenated.
woman enjoy getting like
Probably
pile
better.
drived into a fucking
you know-
bag of spikes?
Feeling
You'll enjoy anything for
rejuvenated.
enough money.
Yeah.
you're
Feeling
desperate enough.
rejuvenated from the thought of having a nice bed to sleep in some nobleman's bedroom. I think I should roll for HP.
I'll give you like an extra chance to roll for HP like every 4 hours of rest.
Okay.
Actually, wait, that could be broken as hell. Because then you could regain like
You could have
theoretically
had-
regain 6 HP in one day.
I was gonna
How about
say,
just
have
I
had
roll
Pierre
twice?
roll first aid. Him.
Well, no, first aid's just for like stopping bleeding and like.
How about I
whatnot,
just
like,
roll
you
twice
initially
when I
get
go to
into it.
sleep next? Because I'm sleeping so well.
Yeah, if you sleep, if you rest extra, I will give you like you will get extra
Okay.
HP.
Anyway, continue.
Especially if you're resting somewhere comfortable and not the rusty mug. So, my favorite tavern. So sad you guys are leaving.
Womp womp.
So we walk downstairs.
So you guys head downstairs and head out of the tavern, and well, actually, like in the like lobby of the tavern, like in the tavern itself, you see like Pierre and Rogue as Tariq leads you down, like you collect your bags and whatnot, and like skip the missing step down the staircase. You see armored man with the rat dagger sigil of House Heir 2 on his breastplate and on his shield, huge sword. He's just standing in the middle of the tavern silently, staring at you.
Hey, Jack.
Mhm.
Can I look at this missing step in the staircase? Because you seem to be like infatuated with it, and I want to look at it more.
There's a bag of drugs in it you can sell.
Can I just like see if something like fell underneath the stairs?
5 gold pieces.
Someone's secret stash.
Sure. Roll.
Roll luck. Come on,
Or,
Jack.
like,
Yeah.
10 or less.
So
Roll a
10 or
3.
less?
Roll a 3.
Yeah, we're gonna look at your degree of success.
I got 10, so 0.
You stop and you look through the missing step in the staircase, and you see at the bottom, underneath the staircase, there's like there's light like from like a torch on the wall, like like a certain breeze just hits the like blows the torch, and just like at the right way that the light kind of like shines onto something shiny at the bottom of the steps, and you see a single bronze piece underneath the staircase. If you'd like to get on your hands and knees and crawl under the
$10,
staircase.
baby.
Yes.
$10.
All right, you now have one bronze piece to your
Let's
name.
go.
Woo! Yeah.
It was gonna be a silver if you succeeded by a lot.
What if I got a 3? Would it be gold?
Yeah, probably.
All right, I have
the
one
Baron. Our
bronze
seed money.
piece.
Okay, so you guys are Tariq leads you guys to the armored guy. He stares at you and says, "Ready to go?"
Of course.
Yes.
What is I ever be?
And man turns around and starts leading you guys. And so Pierre and Roque, he leads you through the city. He leads you to the gates. The gates open up. He leads you into the outer city with the the wealthy section of the city where all the nobles and merchants and whatnot live. And it leads you through the winding streets, through another set of walls that leads you to the keep of the Baron / Duke of Penright, and leads you into the keep and turns to you. Like when you guys get inside, you see Reka putting this all in party notes. Reka, daughter of Naren, Baron or Duke of East Penright.
Rake.
Florin, Naren's best man. Coal, metal, armor, and long sword and shield.
Check.
Yep.
Did you misspell Naren and make it his name? Or Baron? And make it his
No.
name?
It was all coincidence. I came up with the name Naren. I was like, I like that name. And then I came up with like the little story for him. I was like, wait, he's a Baron now? They're gonna call him Naren the Baron.
Naren the Baron. Oh my god, I gotta use that. Anyway.
Yeah. And so Reka is there waiting for you and speaks to you like the same like shimmy like Thai voice, like timid voice. Did I just say shimid Thai voice?
Yeah.
Timid, shy voice. And like looks at the three of you and says, "Welcome. I can lead you to your rooms." And she looks at Florin and goes like, "Thank you for bringing them, Florin. Can you let Naren know that they're here?" And he just nods his head and goes, "Aye, please." Would any of the three of you like to say anything to Reika as she leads you to your rooms? A lot has happened, Sharon Rogue, in the last 20 minutes.
How did the discussions go?
So the discussions were fairly brief. The general idea is he is trying to reestablish his power as Duke, and needs the prophecy's help to do so. And in return for that, we could get supplies and whatnot, I believe is the current standing. You might want to speak with him, though, because I, Susie, have bad memory, and I, Tariq, do not know much of the politics of this area.
I'd do anything for a man if he gave me a good night rest.
Jesus, okay.
I am
also think
exhausted.
In that case, I mean, this is. I'm sure I'm sure this man is not exactly great for the livelihood of this town, but I mean, who cares, right? Supplies are supplies.
Is he rich?
I believe so.
Everyone here is rich as long as you're a nobility.
Yeah, Rogue. I don't know if you heard when I was describing it to them as they're walking by, but yeah, this place, everyone is dressed well, very affluent. It's awesome. Like this section of the city
Rogue just
literally
read like
stings brighter.
Shredder. Oh, Asher, it's the Gato walk.
It's a gate though. Walk. I love that. That would imply you're like super tall though.
Like this has been Rogue walking through the city this whole time.
But
Person on 1 HP. He missed 2 hours of sleep last night.
Going through it. Can't wait to rest. Okay, so you guys let you to your rooms. They're all very nice. Who's gonna stay with who? Graham's in a room by himself.
Pierre should stay with Rogue.
yeah,
Okay, and then
For his
Junior.
injuries.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Junior still wants to kill me.
I'm writing that down because I'm not gonna remember it.
Why is it written rogue plus bed equals head? What? Who wrote that?
Rogue plus bed equals head? What?
Wait, where? What?
Look at public and look right under it.
That
Oh,
was
that was
me in pure
Asher.
boredom.
Oh,
No,
I
it was not.
It was Susie. Damn.
didn't know
Where?
Susie knew you could do that. I forgot you could put stats. Rogue plus.
Anyone
so
can put
confused.
statuses in this, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, because instead of doing anything for a man?
Yeah, it's also just a bad joke.
Wait. There we go. Okay, so all of your quarters are very nice, and you settle in for a bit, and there's knocks on all of your doors, and you're all let out and led by servants to the like center of the keep, to his hall. Naren is sitting in his throne. He's a younger man. I guess I wouldn't call him young. He's 30. In thinner guy with like a well kept beard. He's got like a mustache and like some sort of like a soul patch on his chin. And like longer, well kept black hair. Dressed in very fine, noble clothing with all sorts of like gold and embroidered on it and whatnot. And he has this like rat dagger sigil, like plastered on his chest. And yeah, the five of you approach, and you see again like Graham begins to bow for him.
I will also.
I follow suit.
Guess we should all bow.
I guess I should as well.
So
Graham knows how to interact with people. Of noble
in the
status.
throne room of the Baron / Duke ? Of East Penright, the prophecy bows before him, or Naren, the one they call the Baron, and you all rise and stand before him. Who's standing at the front, like talking to him?
I nominate
Should
Graham.
probably be Graham, yeah.
I nominate myself.
I nominate Rogue as
Rogue
well. I second
is-
that.
Rogue is our charisma
It's
person.
Graham, but it's Rogue talking.
Yeah, like I'm planning to
England,
stand
man.
near the front because of like Westerling,
beautiful.
but I do not
You
plan
got
to
a bed
talk.
for me?
Graham will be at the front doesn't necessarily mean Graham has to talk.
Hey, beautiful.
Um,
You got a bed for me?
So you all approach, and Naren is sitting like above you in his seat. You see he's surrounded by guards. He's got all sorts of servants around and whatnot. And he stares down at the five of you and tells you, "Okay, so you are the prophecy, huh?" And like Graham nods. He goes, "So, how has your journey been? How has it been being prophecy? Being destined? Have you felt holy?"
Am I talking here?
Anyone can talk. Please, not just
All
me.
right.
Please.
I mean, Graham, why don't you take the lead on this one?
This whole session has just been me talking.
I mean,
Graham,
like,
you should
but
take
like,
the lead on
okay,
this.
but like, logically, we should have always had Graham speak to nobility because he's nobility.
Yeah. The
What
problem.
if I'm nobility? I just haven't told you.
You are.
Well,
if I am?
Fortunately, you also haven't been traveling with us for like the last fucking 2 months.
I can say that it.
My
As for how
lord,
our
my
journey's been,
lord.
as for how
Yes,
our
for
journey's
sure.
been, it has been a holy journey, as you've said.
Can I wink at him? Can I roll some charisma?
Please,
Oh,
can we stay on track?
But
I
it's
just,
been
sorry,
fun.
I just woke up.
I stopped
I've been
narrating
so
for 1
sleepy
second
this
and
whole
it's
time.
chaos.
I just woke
The-
up. I've been sleepy.
The travels of this prophecy have been holy, but as I've said, fortune has not smiled upon us.
we've run into pretty much every issue and problem humanly possible on this journey from the Grey Wolf Tavern to here.
Which, suppose, has been a lot of hardships have encountered, but it has become apparent that those hardships were meant for us.
How so?
Really?
Like, what has happened to you? I've heard, everyone's been getting updates on where you've last been seen and where you've been. Last I heard was you were singing Poi. I would have assumed that you had sailed north.
Well,
So I'm surprised
If you
to see
want a recap of detail of everything we've been through, it would take far too much time.
All right.
but
Tell me one good tale, one good thing, one exciting thing that's happened to you.
we ventured deep underground in search of a man's wife, and we ended up finding a dwarven city alongside their remains. I will not elaborate.
I was
He looks at you and smiles. and is- Wow.
This was near Kali.
And how do you know it was a dwarven city? What's a dwarven city?
We collected a lot of artifacts. We read a lot of literature back over there in Kali, and we determined it was a dwarven city. That's where his wife was. They were researching the location, adventuring inside of it. I think they were artificers, and
I
Well-
miss my dwarven short sword.
well, very unfortunately, they met their end inside the catacombs down there. But we found them and we reported their remains, and that's how we continued from Kali onward to north. We had one job after the other.
And you said you collected artifacts?
Well, we had them until the bandits stormed the ship as we were sailing down the Danimark.
Ah, yes. Your friend Graham here, your Northster friend here, told me about that.
It's been a rough last few days.
And so he's also told me that you need help. You need my resources. You need money. Horses, wagons, men.
Yeah, definitely.
No?
Whatever you are
Gonna let
willing.
Pierre respond.
Whatever you are willing to give.
You see, I can give quite a lot. They may call me Naren the Baron, but I'm Baron in name only. I still have lots of influence, many resources. I can get you whatever you need, send you your own private army, to get you through the Western Woods and on to Cario and beyond the Western Wall. But I cannot spare anything as of yet. I'm in a very precarious situation. But if you could get me, or help get me out of this precarious situation, perhaps a deal could be arranged.
Well, as a previous resident of East Penright, I think we could probably help you out.
So I was reading general. I'm freaking out that you guys lost a magic rock that you had actually got rid of like half a year ago. Okay, so what do you know of what's going on in Penright recently?
Me? Can I roll post-Emperor history?
Sure.
Success of
I'm going to
2.
pass out.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely know that, you know, specifically from your own experiences as well. I think in your backstory you called them the Troubles. But I mean, there's always been strife between East and West Penright, and for a little while they were really, fighting. There was the Grey Eye Plague, but you haven't been to Penright in very long. So you haven't really heard about what's been going on in Penright in a little while. So you don't know specifics of like this, like the last 2 months or something. Like recently, and like a scale of like on a grand scale. You know what's been going on recently.
Damn. I don't know anything too specific right now.
Well, as you may know, Eslandri, the God Emperor, has a very, he took a style similar to the old Empire in building his, in that he set out a very strict hierarchical structure in the nobility, with dukes being just under the 4 stewards. So as Duke of the Greenwood and East Penright, I was a very, very influential figure. I had a significant amount of sway in the feudal court, swaths of money coming in through tax revenue. I was one of the most powerful men in the continent. However, as Duke of the Greenwood, I have a responsibility to my city, especially Pennright, to the city of Pennright. And there's been some unrest, of course, especially with the aftermath of the Troubles and the Grey Eye Plague. And you see, because of these pensions, we'll call them, I haven't exactly been able to effectively collect taxes. And especially because of the monsters in the Eastern Woods, I haven't been able to deliver any taxes to Ediver and to the Esters. So they've been quite upset with me. And I received letters demanding my unpaid taxes, my dues, as well as portion of soldiers to help combat the monsters that have been terrorizing the Eastern Woods. The problem is I need every man that I have available with me to keep my city safe and orderly and protect the people. So I didn't send a single man to them. So, just 3 weeks ago, an envoy from Ediver sailed north through the Dänemark into Penright's harbor and delivered a message to me that I was hereby stripped of my title of Duke of the Greenwood, and that I was now merely Baron of East Penright, and that new Duke of the Greenwood would be my most ancient rival, What's his name?
The Chipinellis.
Giard. My most ancient rival, Giard Warver. The old kings of the wood before Matarami. Now, this action has taken me out of the feudal court, has taken away my rights to collect taxes from the entire duchy, and it's made me responsible to deliver taxes to my new duke, which I have not done. Which has led to Eard sending some of his own tax collectors into my city to collect the taxes that I have not delivered to him. Which has led to some scuffles between our men, which has led to some being taxed twice, which has made the situation in Penright even worse, made the people even more upset when 2 tax collectors come knocking at their door rather than just one, and when there are street brawls between nobility, it's just not a good look. And so, you see, I've angered a lot of people, a lot of powerful people, this new duke, the steward of the east, and so once the monster crisis is handled in the eastern woods, my head will very likely end up on a spike unless I escape to the far reaches, unless I come with you to the west, or I escape to the northern mountains and live my life as a hermit in the mountains. So, I have many options available to me. One in particular I'm interested in, but I'm wondering, I've been speaking with my advisors, and I wonder what your take is on what I should do. You see, there's a lot of some key factions that have been forming in Penright. There are those that wish to see us remain divided between myself and House Tarlin, divided east and west. There are those that wish to see us remain under Esther rule. But there are those that wish for an independent Penright, free of Esther rule. Those that even say that there should be an independent West Penright, or even those that say that East and West Penright should unify and declare independence from both of our stewardships.
I'm getting some pretty radical ideas.
Now, when all of these ideas started forming and these groups started meeting and talking and preaching on the street, I paid no heed. But once that envoy arrived, and I was stripped of my title, and I realized that my time on this earth may be limited, I need to make a play. And the support of the divine prophecy chosen by the God Emperor himself, the authority that comes with that, might just be the sort of support that I need in order to properly support any of these factions. What do you think?
Jack.
Yeah?
Sorry, just give me a second. Can I roll Marxist philosophy to gauge what the... Can I roll...
What would be best for, like, the working class of Penright?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
I always feel that you have that skill.
I have a success of 0.
Okay. Any of these options would not... So, looking at it from just purely, like, economic perspective, in the class interest of, like the peasants of Penright, the average citizen, independence could potentially mean less taxes, because normally like your taxes are collected by the count, and then or like maybe the baron. In this case, the duke directly collects taxes in Penright. But basically the taxes go from the count to the baron, to the duke, to the steward, and then a little bit goes to the feudal court and like the Utarkar estate.
However,
But if there's just one guy in charge, all the taxes will go to whoever's in charge of Penright, and they would be taxed less. However, if you really want to think of this, trying to think of it from a Marxist perspective, maintaining feudalism in any form isn't really going to bring about like liberation of the average person in Penright. If Penright were to declare independence and overthrow their feudal lord and create some other form of government, then
what about the
that would probably be best.
what about the
but
guilds? Do the guilds have political power?
yes, absolutely.
So it'd be a bad thing though, if they established any authority, because then it'd literally be an early corptocracy.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it'd probably just evolve into them as just basically being feudal lords, just being the new rulers. Especially because these are men that have their entire careers are built off of trying to make as much profit as possible. So basically, I guess, like, what is the question you're trying to answer?
What is
Like, what it would be?
What is the approach that will ruin the least amount of lives?
Oh,
There's no answer. Jack's just in his head. He's like, dude, you're fucked, dude. There's no way you're not gonna kill people.
well, so there's so many variables to take into account. Like, are we taking into account the soldiers that aren't being sent to go get slaughtered by monsters in the woods? Are we also taking into account the civilians in the Eastern Woods that are being slaughtered by monsters because he's not sending soldiers in? Are we talking about the citizens of Penright that are being
Hold on.
suppressed?
I'm gonna stop you right there. Pierre's been thinking about this right after he had asked, "What do you guys think?" Pierre's just dead. Like he's not responsive. He's literally like finger on chin, completely unresponsive. He's pondering. He's gonna think about it later, so we can move on.
God.
Okay, so then what are you guys gonna say? If you can like roll stuff to try and like think about what you'd want to say. But Marx's philosophy is about like overthrowing it. First of all, like
Honored part
like
2.
really technically it's about overthrowing feudalism with capitalism in order to be able to transition to socialism. But like it's just not going to be helpful for this.
I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't fully understood what he's asking of us.
Yeah, so I can clarify. Essentially, he's asking what you guys think he should do, because he essentially doesn't know what he's been pondering what action he should take in order to best secure his own life and his position as a significant political figure in Penright.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like what will best save his life and keep him in power. And he literally just he outlined there are a variety of factions, and he outlined some of them, and then just asked what you guys think he should do.
How influential are the merchant class in this city?
Yeah, he stared down at you. Pierre, if you want to answer it before an Aaron, you can totally.
Very.
Yeah. Like before an Aaron even answers, Pierre just turns to you with very.
Do you
I'll
have
tell you.
connections to them at all? Or are they entirely independent from your rule?
Yes,
Okay.
but you see, the issue is none of them want to see. They want to see as little turmoil as possible. See, political unrest is not good for business. You see, when
Mhm.
fighting starts happening and steel is unleashed upon flesh, people are less likely to visit, to trade. They usually stay away from the active war zones.
Well, high taxes also dissuade business, though.
Yes, they also do not like taxes. Yard, yes. Um,
Mm.
but basically, well, what I'm saying is they don't want to see me do anything. They, as long as there is a lord that is friendly with them, such as myself, it doesn't need to be myself. If the Esters want to take out my head and replace the Baron of East Penright with some other fool, they're perfectly fine with that. An independent Penright, they aren't. The merchants, for the most part, are loyalists.
Well, I mean, these merchants, they practically have their own armies. They're paramilitary groups. Theoretically, if you just cut their taxes, like you could do a deal where you could lower their taxes and have them send their armies so your men can stay here.
They could be persuaded, yes. But I need to know what I'm persuading them to do first. What would you all be comfortable supporting me in? Because whatever I do, it would be significantly easier if prophecy is behind me, the authority of the god emperor of Madhari himself.
Trust me, dude, I'm thinking about that. You just gotta give me a minute.
What is
Listen,
GOD?
he claps his hand on his thighs. It's a nice meeting with you. It is. I'll be honest. At first, I didn't think you were really the prophecy, but seeing the five of you, hearing your accents, hearing the story of a dwarven city, I can't help but believe that you are real. So it's nice meeting you. Reka here will show you to your quarters, and yeah, Ivan will be here. You guys may discuss this, but as long as you are committed to helping me, you may stay in my quarters. You may stay in my keep in this side of the city,
Okay.
and I will provide you your rooms and food, water. You'll be taken care of. A bath for each of you. He looks at you, and you see like faintly disguised disgust on his face, unless he's like staring and smelling all of you. But you can all go relax. It sounds like you've been on a long journey. Relax, take a bath, rest, break my bread, have some of my salt, and uh, we can reconvene at dinner tonight to discuss. I'll meet with my advisors. This is an interesting variable we had not accounted for. If you need anything, Reka, he points to his daughter. Reka will be just speak to her. She'll be nearby, or just talk to any of the servants.
Thanks, Reka.